sister.
Welcome, comers and friends. Thank you for coming to support Mumia today.
The right place.
As we all know, Mumia is innocent and the state has decided to kill him because this is a continuation of the assault on the Black Panther Party. In 1970, the FBI sent out a memo in which it said that one of their main goals was to prevent the rise of a black messiah who could unify the black nationalist movement. And at that time, the Black Panther Party had a circulation, the party paper had a circulation of 139,000. The FBI sent out a memo saying that this was disturbing. They were alarmed at the number of the circulation of the Panther Party paper. And they took an unhealthy interest in the people who produced that paper. Mumia, as a 15-year-old, one of those people, was put under surveillance. Now, the US is the most powerful nation on this planet. They have enough nuclear weapons to wipe out this planet and several others. And yet they were afraid of a 15-year-old child, afraid of his speaking and writing abilities. So they put him under surveillance at 15. At 18, the FBI put Mumia on a security list. This is a list of people that they would round up in case of a national crisis, whatever that is. When he was 19, the state decided that they would frame him for the murder of the governor of Bermuda and his assistant. They knew Mumia was innocent. He had been to Bermuda, he had a cast iron alibi. So they had to drop that. So although Mumia was just in the wrong place at the wrong time on the 9th of December, the state thought Christmas had come early when they got hold of him and realized who they had. Because on the 9th of December, Mumia, having supported the poor and the oppressed in Philadelphia against the police violence and corruption, he had lost his job as a radio journalist and was actually working as a cab driver at night. And he had been robbed, and so he had a licensed .38 gun on him at the time. He had just dropped off a passenger and was waiting for another passenger when he heard shots. He looked out of his cab window and he saw his youngest brother, Billy Cook, staggering on the street bleeding. So Mumia got out of his cab and ran towards Billy Cook. On his way, he heard other shots and he saw a police officer took aim at him and fired. When Mumia regained consciousness, the police were beating him up. They threw him in the police wagon and drove around the city, hoping that he would die from the gunshot wounds. The doctor who attended to Mumia when he got to the hospital wrote in his report that his injuries were consistent with a brutal beating in addition to his gunshot wounds. So the police had beaten up Mumia again, and it was only after 2 months when Mumia sued the police for beating him up that the police cooked up a story claiming that Mumia had confessed to killing the police officer. When Mumia went into the hospital, Mumia had his lungs were full of blood. He had a bullet in his lungs. There's no way he could have spoken and said anything. And the state knows this. They cooked up this story with an orderly who was supposed to have been there and have heard Mumia confess. And this is part of the state's game, their story that Mumia killed this policeman. Now, we have some people who claim that they are not sure if Mumia is innocent. They haven't made up their mind after 29 years and overwhelming evidence of innocence. These people are now claiming that they can't be sure. It's a question of opinion. But of course they want to keep their credentials as civilized human beings who are against state murder. So they are against the death penalty. But there's a word for people like that, and I think you all know what it is, so I won't bother to say. And there are speakers here tonight who will address this issue, and these people are better qualified than I am to address this and to explain the class nature and the class character of this position. So I won't bother to go into that. I think that I should shut up now and let somebody else talk.
Thank you very much, Comrade Emma. Can we get a warm round of applause for Comrade Emma? Okay, just before we warm up with the slogans, what I also want to do is to make sure that the demonstration runs smoothly in our interest is just to go quickly through the Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct is actually on the back of the slogans that were given out a little bit earlier. And on the Code of Conduct, there are do's and there are don'ts. So I'm going to go quickly through the do's and then through the don'ts. So please do join in with the chants, slogans and singing, etc. for unity on the picket. Refer any problems to the designated steward. The lead steward is Tongagara right here, the gentleman in the hat, for those of you who don't know him. Also, we have Paffy right there in the green high-vis as well, and Brother Earl right there in the orange high-vis. So, those are the stewards. Please leave the rally together. The demonstration will be held outside the US Embassy, so please don't try and stray. Some don't have a bright idea and try and stray somewhere else behind the building or somewhere like that, because that's not where the embassy is. That's not where the demonstration is taking place. We need unity on the demonstration, so we'll stay together. Please do not talk through the chants, slogans, speeches, and singing. We need unity on this demonstration. Please do not talk to the police. Refer any police who approach you to the designated demonstration steward. Please do not engage in any situation that may give the police an excuse to disrupt the demonstration and or arrest demonstrators. If there are any arrests and or you are a witness to a disruption or arrest, take down the names, numbers, and police station of the arresting officers where possible. If arrested yourself, shout out your full name to someone on the picket. That someone should inform a designated demonstration steward immediately. If arrested, give your name, address, and get independent legal representative, i.e. solicitor, before any interview. This is your right. So for anybody who doesn't have this, I'm gonna pass them to Tongagara right now. I'm just keep one for myself, and I'm gonna pass the rest out. I don't think I have enough slogans for everybody, but we can get together and share them. So, with these charts, we're going to be riding on, firstly, the US government, because that's why we're here. We're also going to be riding on corrupt cops who are involved in framing Mumia and framing countless other Africans and oppressed people in the US. We're also going to be riding on the neo-colonialists and the terrorists within the US government and their friends. The judges like Sabo, Mayor Michael Nutter of the neo-colonial mayor of the city of Philadelphia. We're going to be riding on all those people there. So you're going to hear some names. You're going to get familiar if you're not familiar already. So follow with me. If you don't have this already, get next to somebody who does have it. It'll be useful.
Anybody else want one? I have one left.
Free Mumia! Nah, you ain't got it. Free Mumia! Jail corrupt cops! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free the Angola too!
Okay.
Free Leonard Peltier! Nah. Don't repeat after me. Do the response. It's call and response. The response is right here. I'm gonna help you even further. On the slogans sheet, right? What I have is the parts that I do are just in plain character, and on the parts that you do are in bold. Okay? So let's try it again. You can't see it? Okay, well you'll join in with those who can see, and you'll get the vibe along with that. Yeah? Yeah.
Just tell us
Okay, alright, I can do it that way. Free Mumia, jail corrupt cops. Free Mumia. 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 Free the Angola too. Free the Angola too. Free the Angola too. Free the Angola too. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free all political prisoners. Free all political prisoners. Free all political prisoners. Free all political prisoners. Free Mumia. Free Mumia. Free Mumia. Free Mumia. Free the Angola too. Free the Angola too. Free the Angola too. Free the Angola too. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Rochelle McGee. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free Sunjata Kohli. Free all political prisoners. Free all political prisoners. Free all political prisoners. Free all political prisoners. I got a new one for you. Mumia Abu-Jamal is a freedom fighter. 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 Sunjata Kohli 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 is a freedom fighter. Leonard Peltier 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 is a freedom fighter. Rochelle McGee is a freedom fighter. Rochelle McGee is